I thank the gentleman for yielding, and again, express my great appreciation for the many hours of consultation that we've had between the distinguished ranking member, the gentleman from Florida, and myself, and with Mr. Schuster, myself, and with Ms. Brown. But Mr. Micah has been a vigorous advocate for high-speed rail passenger service with changes. Changes in the way we conduct the business of passenger rail service in America. And as he said, this wasn't easy. If it were easy, they wouldn't need us. We wouldn't need Congress if things were all easy. But the point of the legislative process is to be open, to be receptive, to think constructively, to trust that the ideas advanced by one or the other side pursuit of a valid public purpose goal, and that has been the long tradition of this Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure, and why, and the principal reason that we have succeeded over so many years in being the building committee of the Congress. The gentleman from Connecticut said that there weren't reforms, or deplored the lack of significant reform in this legislation. I just want to say we have management improvement. It's requiring a financial accounting system for Amtrak operations and a 5-year financial plan monitored by Department of Transportation's Inspector General. An overall assessment to be done by the Inspector General of progress made by Amtrak management and by DOT in implementing the provisions of the bill. We direct the Secretary of Treasury in this bill, in consultation with Secretary of Transportation Amtrak, to negotiate restructuring of Amtrak's debt. We include a corporate governance provision, restructuring Amtrak's board, expanding that board to 10 persons serving 5-year terms, and requiring the President consult with Congress to ensure balanced representation of regions served by Amtrak in that board, and to have rail, transportation, or business background among those members. In consultation with the Surface Transportation Board and Federal Railroad Administration, Amtrak is required to develop standards for measuring performance and quality of intercity train operations, including cost recovery, on-time performance, ridership per train mile, on-board and station services, and connectivity of routes, and requires the DOT IG to evaluate performance and service quality of intercity passenger rail service and identify the 5 worst performing Amtrak routes, from which then IG will recommend a process for the DOT to consider proposals for competitive service by private sector to Amtrak on that route. Those are significant reforms. And I invite the attention of the gentleman from Connecticut, and I'll send him these specifics that I just mentioned. We are ready to move ahead with the balance of this bill. This is an exciting opportunity. This is the beginning of the transformation of passenger rail service in America. It's not going to lead us tomorrow to the train à grande vitesse, the TGV of France, or the Talgo of Spain, or the ICE of Germany, or the Shinkansen of Japan, or the 220-mile-an-hour train service between Beijing and Shanghai in China. But it will put us on a course to get there, to achieve those speeds over those distances. When I traveled as a student to begin graduate studies in 1956 at the College of Europe, from Paris to Brussels, the trip was 6 hours. Today, that trip is 80 minutes. There is no air service, no commercial air passenger service between the capital of Europe, Brussels, and the capital of France, Paris. But there's a train leaving every 3 minutes in each direction with 1,100 passengers on board traveling at 184 miles an hour. All day long, from 6 in the morning till midnight. We should be able to achieve that kind of service on the East Coast. We should be able to achieve that kind of service in the Southwest, as was referenced by the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Quay. We should be able to do that in California, as referenced by the gentleman from California, Mr. Costa, and in the Pacific Northwest, and in the Southeast of the United States. And this bill will put us on a track to do that. I yield back the balance of my time.